Got it. Thanks, Lucy. All right. Calling the meeting to order at 1:18. I'm going to read the announcement. This is Nikki Rowland, Chair of the HSAB. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Lucy?
Yes.
Brooke? Where's Brooke? Angus?
Aye.
Jason?
Here.
And let me see, Brooke, I've got to let him in. Here he goes. So Brooke is joining us shortly. Staff, there's no staff. Brooke, you're here?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can, thank you. So no anticipated speakers. This open meeting of HSAB is being conducted remotely pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021. For this meeting, HSAB is convening by video conference via Zoom app as posted at the town's website identifying how the public may join in. Participants may find information on that conduct of this meeting at that location. Please note that this meeting is being recorded. Each vote taken at this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. Okay. So we have adoption of the agenda. Lucy, can you make a motion?
Yeah.
Seconded by Brooke.
Oh,
Yes.
sorry.
Second.
All those in favor, Lucy,
Yes.
Brooke, Angus,
Aye.
Jason,
Yes, I.
and I'm an aye. And then we have to approve the minutes from August 16th.
Yes.
Lucy? That's a motion to adopt those minutes, approve those minutes. Seconded by Brooke.
Yes. Seconded.
All those in favor? Lucy,
Yes.
Brooke, Angus, Jason?
I.
Aye.
All right, thank you. So moving on now on the real agenda, the posted agenda that has 9 Twin Street, but probably read that I didn't, but eventually found out that's not, we're not going to review that today because the application wasn't submitted properly, I guess. So so we're going to move down the agenda to 4 East Lincoln Avenue, which is NAG, and I don't see them here. I'll share my screen now. Where are you? Here. There. Okay. Can you see the site plan for 4 East Lincoln?
Yes.
Okay. This is to add stair and the door. And it took me a while to figure this one out, but the stair, of course, the garage doors are facing East Lincoln, and the stair is kind of to the side of the building. Does anybody want to talk about this one?
I'm happy to.
Go ahead, Angus.
So in general, we discourage the exterior freestanding stair, but I think this is really obstructed because of the siding, because of what's behind it, and the houses that block the view of it from Swain Street. I don't see it as much of a concern.
I totally agree. Anybody else have any thoughts on this one?
No real concerns. Is the deck facing forward part of this?
I'm pretty sure that's already approved.
Okay, so it's just the side stair.
And the door related to that platform at the top
Yeah.
of the stair.
Yeah, I have no concerns.
Okay.
I did notice on the application that the deck is down for being white.
Okay.
I think it's not out of character for the neighborhood.
The railing, I'm sure that's what they're referring to. Oh, the deck.
Deck itself.
keep- Yeah, I don't think they're going to paint the decking white. So I think that's pretty standard for the neighborhood.
Well,
Is
the existing photos show a rear deck that's natural, so it would make sense for it to follow. I think it's one of the last
Okay,
pictures, maybe, or right before the locust.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it. Right, so well, this is the old photograph, the original deck, which is gone. Does anybody care if it's white or natural?
Well, I think the decking itself should be natural to weather.
Okay, but how about the railing?
Oh, I have no problem with that. I was just thinking the decking itself.
Yeah. And again, I don't think they're gonna paint the decking white, but we could note that if you want to.
I would like that to be noted.
Yeah. Decking. Okay. All right, so I'm seeing sort of no concerns on this one, so we can
None.
move on. Okay. To 1 Chester Street, window door changes. Fred, do you want to walk us through this?
Sure. So this is right down there on 1 Chester Street. I'm sure you guys have all been down there. We are reusing one of the old windows from the back deck area and putting it around on the side of the house. Other than that, you can't see this from anywhere. I know that's not terribly concerning to you guys, but it's pretty straightforward. They're just wanting to reuse some of the windows and move them over on the west elevation there. And then in the north elevation, they're putting in matching windows to the ones that are around the corner and adding the triple doors on the north as well as the east elevations.
Okay, so this locus wasn't included in this, but Ben did send it to me, and I'm going to try to find it. Because there's no real way to see. I was a little concerned about visibility from Cliff, is it Cliff Road or yeah, Cliff Road.
What is the date of the house?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that too.
1810 on the application. And in excellent condition.
All right, so further, I got the. Sorry, I'm trying to find the locus.
Sorry, is there a date for the L as well?
Right now. Fred, do you know when the wing on the back was put up?
You know, I don't. I do not.
Yeah. Okay, so here is. No, you don't see that, do you? Or do you? Do you see that? Yeah, you do.
Yes.
Yep, you can see the locust.
Okay.
You can't, Mickey, did you find that you could see it from Cliff Road? I don't think you can. But
I don't think you can either, Fred. I went on Street View and looked on Cliff Road around, and you can see the building. If you look from between these yards, there's a pretty tall hedge along this road. And you when you look over the hedge, you see the second floor of this building. You don't see through the hedge because it's in leafed out. Not sure if you would see it in the off season, but maybe. So
there's also a big kind of bluff right behind the house. That's so it's really hard to see it.
I think it is hard to see it, but I can't say without actually walking the street in the wintertime if it's visible or not. So anybody want to make a comment about this one?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
Brooke?
I have no concerns as long as there's no visibility issues. And even still, like this is it could be easily remedied with like a French door and a window kind of thing. So,
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because that's kind of what my thoughts were, is that, I think it's worth pointing out that the visibility is very limited, but not guaranteed invisible. So I think, my preference would probably be to see a single pair of French doors with a window next to it rather than triple French doors, which are
Yeah.
kind of unusual for the OHD if they're visible at all. So I'd be more comfortable with the pair of doors and a single window next to it. Anybody else got a thought on that?
This house is so much in its pure state from the outside. I do have a problem. The symmetry that's on both sides of the house. And then I appreciate reusing a window, but then popping a new hole in between there and putting 3 windows on the first floor when it was never meant to be that way, especially when the other side is the exact same setup. I do have issues with that. I also would like to know the age of the L before we're putting in, like, taking up a huge span of the potentially original piece set in those doors. I could have an issue with it. It has been so
Okay.
untouched.
Right. So
I mean, we're really altering the appearance of it.
So, Jason, you're concerned about the single window addition to what's it going to be, the east side?
The east side, just because the east side and the west side are completely identical on purpose, historically. And then I do have an issue with I don't have an issue with that triple on the west side, just because it's just basically been shifting around some.
Right.
But I do have an issue with all the French doors
Okay.
over there.
Jason, how do you feel about changing the French doors to a double French door with a window next to them with a little separation?
Is it so? Am I looking at this correctly, that there's going to be 2 sets of doors, one in the L and one in the original portion of the house?
Correct.
That's a lot. I mean, that's like a massive blowout of an original structure. I really,
Yeah, at least this one is.
I'm sorry. I just have a real serious issue with that. It's just really, it's a big loss.
What was there before, Fred? Is it 2 single windows?
That's correct. One of which we're proposing to reuse on the east side.
Okay. So sounds like, Jason, you're mostly concerned with sort of the loss of the original fabric of the building.
And the original historic view of the building. I just,
Yeah.
I mean, it's under, quote unquote, by our standards, under fenestrated on purpose. And we're like getting rid of like wholesale wall and windows for, yeah.
Okay, because that sort of sets visibility aside, although visibility is supposed to be one of our big things. Brooke, do you want to say?
yeah, Jason, 17 Liberty Street, where I reside, on our east-facing elevation, we have three old windows. This is same age as this structure, and 2 above, just almost exactly like this layout on their east elevation. And the other side of the house has no windows. So I think there's room for a window on this elevation, and there is historic precedent. I just want to
No, that's
maybe
not what I'm
allay
saying, though.
any
It hasn't,
concern.
unless you could show it from the inside that one had been there, that would be fine. But it's more than likely was not meant to. It's like when people say, oh no, they needed to have a window in the staircase. They didn't put a window in the stairwell because it was a passageway. It wasn't meant to be, lit up with natural light. It was a waste of a window. So that is my opinion. I just have a serious issue blowing another hole in the side of this building that I think will be visible, especially there.
Angus, are you going to say something?
Yeah, my concern is the possible sometime during the winter when the foliage is gone, or if plantings are removed or lost. This wraparound L of 6 French doors, I think it's out of character, especially in the OHD, and I am concerned for the fabric of the building. This east elevation, I think that's an appropriately placed window that would match the others, both in kind of placement and style if it's a reclaimed window. My concern more is about the stretches of French doors. If it's possible to have a window and a door in each of those situations, I think it would be more appropriate, and maybe not a 15 light French door, but more like something that would have similar length of glass as the 12/12s, but have a panel below. In this north elevation that you have up, my concern with those windows is that wouldn't have happened like that. That east or that right side of the gable would have gone all the way down. So the framing would be right where that third window is. I'd rather see that be 2 windows, if possible.
Wait, say that again. You lost me there.
The gable that has the chimney in the middle that we're looking at in the north elevation, that right side of the gable would have gone all the way down, and then the shed would have been a later addition to it. But that there would have been a corner post that would be right where that third window is on the left. Just as in the elevation, there's nothing below that corner board now. Mickey, I lost the picture. Is it up?
No, you are.
I got a notification saying that Lucy Dillon is the chair now.
Yeah, we lost Mickey.
I don't know how to be chair.
Here he comes.
But those are really my primary concerns.
Okay, I'm sorry. I fell off the internet, but what were you saying, Angus?
Did you catch the part about in the existing, what is it? The existing north elevation, where there's a door on one side below the corner board of that gable and a window to the left side. So I think 2 windows is perfectly appropriate. But the third in that location, I don't think is.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So that means we'd lose this window right here, which
Where,
can-
yes.
Yep. So, Fred, we're giving you some options here. And I think a lot of this is based on visibility. And I'm not sure what the HGC is going to say regarding visibility, but I think we just have to address it as if it might be visible, and they'll make that determination at the actual meeting.
Yep.
So.
Could I make
I think you also have to start recording, Mickey.
Oh, thanks. I'm not recording. All right, I'm gonna stop. Where's the record button? Record, thank you. Oh, shit. They're not letting me record. So I'm not the host?
Lucy is.
I don't know how to do this.
Look down
It
at the
says,
bottom.
it says recording on my screen.
It does?
It does.
Oh, it does on mine also. So we probably
Not
did.
sure we ever lost it.
Good. All right. Fred, were you saying something?
I was going to
Nope.
make a comment.
Lucy. Good. Go ahead, Lucy.
Getting back to the 3 French doors on both sides,
Mhm.
it occurs to me that if we are concerned about the visibility, And we're counting on a hedge or something to block the view. I think that in the off season, with the total of 6 French doors, I think that you have an interior light issue in the winter that would increase the visibility. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, say that again.
If you have those 6 French doors on the back side of the house, and during the winter, if the house is lit up, you're going to have, I would think, quite a bit of visibility from Cliff Road.
Correct. I see what you're saying. And also, if you they don't even own that hedge. So we don't know, they have no control over whether that gets taken down or not. So I think that's a good point, Lucy, in terms of lighting at night. It's gonna shine through the hedge, certainly in the winter.
Well, there
So I
would
think
be
that,
walls of light.
what was that, Angus?
Oh, there would just be walls of light, as Lucy's pointing
Yeah.
out.
Exactly. So I think our recommendation is going to be to change those triples. Is everybody okay with a double French door? Angus, you said something about maybe going with like.
I think we lost. Can you all hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay. So I guess what I was suggesting is a door and a window.
Someone's got to, I don't know how to get,
Or.
Mickey, if you can hear us, maybe you should like make
Okay.
maybe Brooke the host or Angus, and then you can still be the chair. You're still acting as the chair, but your internet is cutting out really badly. And he's gone.
God.
Okay.
letting people in.
Not able to do that. So, lose maybe the chair. I mean, the host. So, if I drop off, somebody else will have to try to take that over. So anyway, can you all hear me now?
yes.
Okay. Sounds like Angus is suggesting maybe we change this or.
We lost you again, Mickey.
I can host and I'll screen share.
Yes, that would be great.
All right. Hang on.
Recommend a single door with one or two windows. Go ahead.
All right. I'm going to share my screen, guys. All right. Can you see this?
Yes,
All right. So it sounds like one door, 2 windows on the east and the north. Is that correct?
I would say one window and one door. Like the 12 over 12s are pretty large windows,
yeah.
Okay.
and a good sized door that might give you the same amount of glass as one of those windows.
Like a 12 light.
Yeah.
Okay.
But basically no triple French.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just too wide for.
I think we all agree on that. We just don't think that, we just don't all agree on the solution.
Yeah, I think this makes the most sense, at least as a joint recommendation, the single window, single door. I'm not that concerned about the new additional window on the east elevation of the main part. Jason's brought up a concern. Is anybody else concerned about that particular window?
No,
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 Okay,
sorry, Jason.
all right. I think we can move on. I'm
thank you,
gonna,
Fred.
hey, Steve? Steve, is that Steve Thoreau?
There you go. Can you hear me,
Everyone.
Mickey?
I think Mickey's frozen. I can hear you.
It's freezing up, Angus. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay,
Welcome.
thank you.
Just said Steve. Yeah.
Steve, are you here for East Lincoln?
I am, yes.
We already did that. You're fine.
Okay, thank you.
Yep,
I'll go away.
bye. All right, so the next one is 14
Thanks
Lowell.
for,
Wait, that was, we did 4 East Lincoln, not 7 East Lincoln.
7 East Lincoln is emeritus. That's up now.
that's
Okay.
70. Yep. Are you share, bring that on your computer? Because I could probably do mine.
I'm here if anybody has any questions, or I could give you a brief summary of what we're looking to do.
All right, so I just got permission from Mr. Rowland to host the meeting. And this is for the Riga residence, 7 East Lincoln. And based on the application, this is a roof walk and you're lowering the height of the building 2 feet 3 inches. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct. We applied for a roof walk originally. And I think the board was kind of like split on it. They didn't feel like strongly about it. So we are coming back with it, and but worked really hard to take as much height out of this structure as possible. So we're hopefully trading the height for the roof walk. So that's pretty much the gist of it.
Well, my personal take on this is actually I have no real concerns. I'd like it to be natural to weather. I think it's kind of appropriate for this building. The one area that does concern me a little bit is where the roof walk is broken against the shed dormer, but maybe there's a visibility that can mitigate that. I suspect that my co-commissioners might have a different opinion, but Angus, would you like to weigh in?
I agree. I appreciate the drop in height. And my concern is how that shed dormer breaks up the skirt of the roof walk. And I think that that's a good recommendation for natural to weather.
Lucy?
Yeah, I have a couple questions. Remind me, what's the date of this building?
It's new.
Okay, all right,
New
sorry.
construction.
Okay, we have a shower on the porch, everybody,
Yeah, that was approved.
okay?
We're just looking at the roof walk and the height.
And just to make sure we know what the finish of the foundation skirt is gonna be. Is that gonna be natural to weather?
That can be natural to weather, sure.
Yeah, you have it here as Harbor Gray.
Yeah, but we could change it to natural. That shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah. I think, it'll kind of relate to the roof walk in that way too.
Yeah.
We're fine with that.
And you have down that the pergola is white?
Yes, that's correct.
I prefer that natural to weather.
Yeah.
Is
we
that already
actually-
approved?
Yeah, it is already approved.
All right,
Okay,
And
and appreciate height drop.
yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Jason?
Well, surprise, surprise. I don't think the style of house is appropriate to have a roof walk on it. And typically we don't approve roof walks on top of dormers, and this has got so many different things going on with the roof that I just don't think it's appropriate, and that's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Roland,
Yes,
oh, you're not frozen. You're just staring intently at your screen.
maybe. I've probably frozen off and on. But I don't, personally, I don't have a problem with this roof walk. I think it's sort of fits in on this style building. That's a sort of, but I'm sort of a
All right, we lost you again, Mickey.
but I also agree. I'm okay with it.
Okay. All right. I think we can move on to the next one. Thank you, Matt.
you got it.
What is the next one? We just did one Chester, so we're doing 14 Lowell.
Yep.
All right, and that is. All right, so. Matt, are you here for 14 Lowell as well?
I am. They weren't able to actually send me the drawing, so I just need to kind of see what we got here.
No, okay, so there was that's right, there was a triple window.
Oh, yeah, sorry. This is for that dining room. I don't even think
Yeah.
it's visible.
Yeah, so it's
So-
a triple to double.
Exactly. So what we had done is, it's basically, we had a larger window on that's the west, I guess it would be the south elevation. We had two different window sizes on the sides of this like bump out. And it just kind of looked weird when you're in the space, and then so we just basically, instead of doing 3 windows on the sides, we did 2 of the same side that's on the south.
Gotcha, so,
Yeah.
yeah, so there's a bank of 5 that
Yep.
was approved,
Yep.
and you're changing that to
To
a
2.
gang of 2 instead of those 3 high windows.
Exactly. It was just the sill
Right.
was, we thought it'd be a cool detail, but when the rough openings went in, we're like, this is gonna be weird. So we just,
Yep.
that's what we're here for.
And that elevation that is right here,
Yeah, it's actually inside that little inside corner and then on the back side. So I just, even if you could see it, I don't think it would be a problem, but I just don't think you're gonna ever see it. So,
okay, oh, it's actually here.
yep.
Okay. I personally have no concerns. Lucy,
No concerns.
Angus,
No concerns.
Mickey,
No concerns.
Jason?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Matt.
All right. Thank you.
And then we're at 27 Old South Wharf.
I can walk you through this one pretty quickly.
Yeah, hang on.
So what this is one of the wharf structures. It's actually a utility building for
Matt, may I interrupt you for a second?
Sure.
Is this slip 14 or 41 or whatever it is?
Yes,
Okay, and this is the bathroom building, right?
correct, exactly. And what it is, in one portion of the structure, there is actually some electrical switchgear that currently sits on the slab. And because this area is prone to flooding, we do actually, they need to take the switchgear and basically lift it up off the ground by about 30 inches. It's very complicated to move it or relocate it or really anything. So we really want to kind of keep it in its current place and footprint. But we do need to raise it 30 inches to prevent it from flooding, because when it gets wet, it gets damaged and it's going to be dangerous and expensive to fix and all this other stuff. So the solution was, can we just add a dormer and we'd actually we put the window in there, but it's basically, we'd probably black it out on the inside with the charcoal plywood panel. So you'd still see the depth and the shadows, and it would look like a real window. But what it does do is it allows us to take that switch gear. And it's basically an electrical piece of equipment. It's kind of like the size of a phone booth. And you're just basically going to raise it up 30 inches. And this was the most economical solution. So that's what we have.
All right. Thank you, Matt. Again, I personally have no issue with this. I think that it's, even though it's asymmetrical, it's perfectly in keeping with the odd collection of architecture down there, including on Commercial Wharf. There's a bunch of these little buildings, and I think a couple of them have some funky little dormers going on as well. Angus?
I don't mind the funkiness of it, but a flush dormer that has a kind of a flush like there is in a soffit rake seems kind of token going across it. But I actually took a walk down there earlier today, and there isn't a single dormer. There aren't any interruptions in the roofs for this whole line of buildings, from this building all the way up to the whatever that street is that cuts in front of the basin. And the same with the other side that opposes this. There's something to that. And I'd much rather figure out another way to do this internally. It's not a living space, as Matt has pointed out, it's mechanical. And I don't want to make anybody's job more difficult on the inside, but that's not what we're looking at. What we're looking at is the exterior, and it's this would be the only one.
Lucy?
I was going to say the same thing that Angus did. I mean, if this is a mechanical challenge, would it be less offensive to have it on the other side of the building?
Oh, you mean facing slip 14?
Yeah, I mean, I do worry that, once one building gets a dormer, then it spreads like a plague on all those little buildings.
Yeah.
I mean, we could try, we thought that this was the least invasive approach. I mean, I don't know if there's other, but if it literally is a mechanical element, do we just make it, just try to embrace that and not make it look like a dormer? I mean, clearly there's not enough room. I mean, I could push the face of it back if I needed to. I don't know if it's worth making it look like, I think this would be ridiculous, but like just given the size of a portion of it, but like a chimney or something like that. I don't know. I'm just trying to make it easier, if you will, for them. And I think that there could be, the NIR owns all of these structures. There are some dormers on, commercial, on some of the other wharfs, but anyways, well, you understand the rationale. We're not trying to get additional square footage out of the structure. It's purely a response to a mechanical condition. It's for good reason. And we thought that this was the most creative way to get it. It's kind of a transom dormer in a lot of ways. So, but anyways, I just want to give you the background on it today, and I understand you're going to make your comments.
Okay.
Is it possible to fit it in the gable above the door where you've got some real height?
Well, the problem is it's all pre-wired, and there's quite a bit of mechanical equipment in there, and the thought of moving it, which I could ask them, but my impression was that given the location of all the existing equipment, it's a bit of a domino effect. When you move one piece, then that piece has to find a new home. But I could, but the impression that I got, to answer your question, is that moving it like laterally on the floor plan was really, really complicated. I mean, really problematic. The fact that they could just lift it solved it, because they didn't have to reroute anything. They could just extend things certain ways. But I could certainly ask them that.
I think in this case, it would certainly be worth finding an alternative that's possible to do within the existing volume, just because this would open the floodgates for, I mean, this really would be the only one in the whole stretch. Now, across the way, if you're looking in the west elevation, across from the west elevation, there, the cottages, and there are a number that have flush shed dormers, but it's a different grouping of buildings. And it's, this is, if you go out on the pier opposite, kind of on the northwest corner of this building, if you look across the way to Straight Wharf and you look down South Wharf, there just aren't any, there aren't any interrupted roof masses.
Mhm.
And that simplicity is really striking.
Yep. Gotcha.
Jason?
I agree with Angus.
Okay. Mickey?
Vicky's frozen again.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
if-
Ouch.
can you hear me yet?
I can
Can you hear
tell
me?
you're talking, but it's cybered.
All right. I'm gonna text set.
I would also like to make another comment, and it has nothing to do with the application. It's on the back side of the building. These are such cute buildings, and it's always unfortunate when you have AC units so visible.
Yeah, that is a challenge with a lot of these structures. If you do take a walk around there, you will see that
I know, I
all
just,
those buildings have them, and they've done the best they can in terms of, elevating them and hiding them, but they are.
I know, I just think, when all of you do work on these buildings, it would be nice if sometimes this issue could be addressed. I'm not looking for a comment from you. I'm just stating it,
Sure.
an observation.
Can you hear me now?
yes.
Okay, I was going to agree with what Angus and everybody else is saying, that if we can avoid the dormer, let's do that. But if we have to have it, it should at least be set back from the face of the building a foot, because that's sort of the rule.
Okay.
I think it also should be noted that this dormer, we're making an exception for because of mechanical issues and not for any other reason.
Okay. Yep. So dormer as an exception.
Yeah, you just look at this photograph of going down the whole,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's, we could be starting a really bad thing.
So when I said what I said, I think I was looking at this and thinking that was a dormer, but I realized that it's not. It was just a really flat roof.
Yeah.
So, all right, Matt, I think we're all sort of on the same page here. Thank you very much for your time.
Sure. I think that's my
And-
last one, right?
I think so. Are you 82 Center Street?
No,
Nope.
62 Walsh?
Nope. I think that's it.
Lily.
I think it was just those three.
Okay,
All right, cool. Have a great day, everyone.
thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
All right. Hang on a second. So now we are at 82 Center. Window replacement, like kind, old historic district. Replace storm windows, match existing white aluminum, provide storm windows. And this is
Good afternoon. Hi, everyone. Mike Rasso here from
Okay.
82 Center.
all right. So Gull Island, gotcha, okay. So that's American Seasons right there.
Correct. Do you want me to give you some background? This is it's my first meeting, so
All right,
let me
hang
know
on a
what you want
second.
from me.
We just want to take a look.
Sure.
Mike, what's the date of this building?
1870.
Okay,
Can I just ask the question is, are we just talking about storm windows, not the actual window itself?
That's correct. Storm windows only. I'm restoring the actual windows.
Oh,
oh, okay.
Do we even have to look at storm windows?
No.
No. So I don't suppose you'd consider using wood storm windows.
I didn't even know those existed.
Yeah. They're
They've
not as,
existed for
they're not
hundreds
as
of years.
convenient, but they're a lot more attractive. All right, so Mike, you're free to go. I think that this you don't need to really apply for storm windows. And Mickey has confirmed that, and Angus and anybody else who might know better.
Your weighted windows are beautiful. I'm glad you're restoring them.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely, yeah. And I am up next for the fence as well, so.
Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of this one. All right, fence, as-built fence to satisfy violation.
So I'll give you a little background if you want, or let you go through that first.
I also have another quick question. Has the fence been completed with the cap, the curved cap rail?
It has been completed, yeah. So you can see we were able to save some of it, but definitely not all of it. So the prior owner, which I didn't realize until Kathy had mentioned to me, that the prior owner had actually petitioned to remove the fence completely a few years ago, and it was denied, which in my opinion is a good thing. We purchased a home in March, and that was one of the first things. I mean, it was completely rotted, as you can see from all those photos, unaware that I needed to get approval. So that is the issue. So I had someone come in and again, replace it. We saved some of it, but it was completely rotted in most cases.
So I'm looking at this, or at the existing fence, and then I'm looking at the historic. Is that at the same height? Because I'm wondering if this fence was even original as well. So
Unlikely.
unlikely. Anyway, I mean, I'd love to see this curve right here myself, just because it was there, and I think it is totally it's totally appropriate given the corbelling that was like probably a Victorian element added to this building at the time. But I can understand not wanting to do that, and I appreciate that the curve does exist next to the door. So overall, I have no concerns. And Lucy, do you have any concerns?
No, I was gonna say exactly the same thing.
Okay, Angus?
I was going to say the same thing as well, Brooke.
Wow. Mickey, come on, be different.
No concerns as long as that cap is finished. So obviously, so.
All right, and Jason?
I ditto the stuff. I'd like the curve back.
Okay, so it sounds like we're all in agreement. Thanks for taking care of this building.
So yeah, still a lot of work to be done.
It sure
Unfortunately, she was neglected.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Yeah. All right. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike.
62 Walsh. This is revised fenestration. This is a revisions to previous COA, revised deck. I think you guys can read. I don't know if you need me to read it. There's a site. So. Oh, okay. All right. So south elevation. I have not had a chance to really take a look at this.
Mickey's happy to start.
Okay. Mickey?
Okay. Sure. There's a number of changes here, but the only one that concerns me even just a little bit is this one right here in the west elevation, the 2 windows instead of the 3. It just feels like they should move over. They should be more centered if they're going to drop them down to 2. On the south elevation, I don't mind changing it to a hip. It's in the back of the house. It's less visible. All that stuff there is facing the back. I really don't care about the other changes, but I think I would recommend moving those windows on the west toward the center.
All right, Angus?
I would say that I'm not concerned about the changes on the south. On the west side, I'm not concerned about the garage doors, the rolling doors, but the dormer and the fenestration below on either side of the door was so much more pleasing with the odds instead of the evens. Having 3 windows on either side of the door and 3 windows above the door in the dormer as opposed to the 4, it just feels more balanced and appropriate.
Jason?
I agree about the comments on the west side. I just question visibility on the back side, on the south side from Walsh, because I can't remember the name of the street that runs behind it. And I did not get to go down there, but I do question the visibility of the south side.
Of the south?
Yeah, all those windows, all those doors, I'm sorry.
Okay, so it was previously approved.
I know, but they've added 3
Oh,
doors.
they added 3 doors.
So now you've got what, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you've got 9, almost a wall of glass.
All right, so that's this elevation facing that way, correct? So that's south. And it is
It's not circled, is it?
somewhere in here. So, yeah, a lot of that is visible as I've ridden this and run this a few times recently. There's a lot of plywood that you can see. I don't know that you'd be able to see the first floor of this south elevation, but I will note that, Jason. Extra
Thank you.
3 doors. 3 doors. Maybe too much.
Mhm.
If visible. All right, Lucy?
I agree with what Jason has to say about the 3 doors.
Mhm.
And I like the previous west elevation
Okay.
better.
All right. Did I miss anyone?
Nope.
Okay, so it seems like there's a little bit of pushback then. I will make note of that. I've got 6 Lily Street. And
All right, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey,
Hey,
Jim.
How
Hey,
are you, Chip?
team, how's it going?
and I have to recuse from this.
Okay, as long as you can still hear me, I'll take over.
Okay, yes, I'll happily keep sharing the screen though.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
So you just tell me where to go.
So good evening, everyone. This is proposed revisions at 6 Lily to a current approval that we have. The majority of the revisions are actually keeping windows that were going to be replaced as a result of value engineering on the project. The one exception to that is a proposed dormer that is on right there, okay? So it's on the extension that goes towards Lily Street. So it would be visible. So this, yeah, so almost all of these are just going, there's the dormer there. And that's over, you know, personally, I think it's kind of fun. It's a little quirky. It breaks up an otherwise extremely long roof, long skinny roof.
So Chip, can you just walk through which windows are staying and which are going? I'll go.
Sure. Okay,
by
so this,
screen. So,
all right, unfortunately, the existing approval is kind of small on this, on the upper left. But, okay, so this is what was approved. And it's on the main house, which is on the right-hand side. You can see there's a triple door at the transom, and then there's a quad unit with the transom. Those are being, if we look at the new proposal, those are being proposed to be changed to a, instead of a triple unit, a single unit with flanking windows. And then the quad unit that was to the side of that is now being proposed to a triple unit. While we're on this elevation, the reason the ones upstairs are bubbled is because we're changing manufacturers and so forth. So the intent on this is that we were approved for double glazed Green Mountain, which I believe kind of accidentally slipped through when we were looking at the garage. The HD, or maybe actually it might have been you guys, pointed out that didn't seem right. So we are proposing now to only keep the currently approved double glazed units on the back where it's not visible. And then all units that are visible would now change to single glaze. The other, okay, yep, there we go. So let's look at this, if you don't mind going into the existing, I mean, the previous approval. So the previous approval, we had a gang of 6 units approved, which we are proposing to separate into 2 triples. And then the slight reconfiguration of windows on the second floor due to redesign up there. And then, as I pointed out to the right, this dormer is the primary new element being proposed. It's a shed dormer. It is set back from the eave, as you can see here. So this is elevation facing Lily Street. This is as currently approved. And then the only proposed change here is that dormer that I was mentioning.
and then was there, yeah. And this
These
is-
are going on the back. This is going back to windows that are there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Did everybody follow that? Does anybody have questions? All right, Mickey, you're up, right? Sorry. I just,
That's
the
okay.
power, you know, like I had the
I know.
power for a minute.
Hard to take that away. So Chip, you didn't mention this, or maybe you did and I just missed it. It says right there, remove the shed dormer. So that's.
Yeah, so let's look at the existing approval on that same side. There's this weird condition. Oh, look, I have to look, if you will, at the rear elevation.
This one?
No, keep going. The one that was just pulled up before this. There we go. Now zoom into the approval, please. A little bit more, if you don't mind. Okay, Mickey, do you see that?
Yep.
There's this, it's like, it's not really a shed dormer as much as it is technically probably a dormer, but it's a change in pitch that results in this sort of little, I don't know, sliver condition. So that's what we're proposing, to clean that up by removing that.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought. I just wanted to make sure that was part of it.
Yeah.
So my feeling about that, even though it seems like a really odd little sliver of a dormer, to me, when you look at the front of that dormer, which would be what, north? No, yeah,
North.
So right there, it's without that bump up of the shed dormer on the right-hand side, it looks like just a big negative mass. And I personally like the addition of the dormer, the break in the roof line, which gives it a dormer feel rather than just a void, if you know what I mean. So it's subtle, but I think that that's going to be visible. It's going to have a, different pitch, a different shadow line, and will stand out as a dormer rather than just cutting into an existing roof plane. Other than that, I didn't really have any concerns with the window changes. Anybody else on this one? Angus?
I agree with with what you're talking about, that area feeling more like its own mass rather it helps to alleviate the feeling of a negative mass there. It's so subtle, but it does make a difference in that intention. I don't have any other concerns about the fenestration that are proposed for that. What is that? The north elevation. But on the south elevation, where the dormer is, I think because that is so long and narrow, low and wide like it is, I think the dormer would look more appropriate if it sort of matched it. So if it were one light high, then it would pull the top of the dormer off the ridge and set it a little bit more into the roof plane. It would still provide the light, but I think the width is appropriate. I think just the height is too vertical.
Okay. Lucy?
I'm fine.
Jason?
Nothing to add.
Okay. So Chip, it sounds like a little bit of pushback, maybe just retaining that dormer if that's at all possible.
Yeah.
And also on that new dormer, I guess, is that just a sort of a clerestory? Is there living space in there or just letting light in?
It's a combination. There's like a little loft there that is providing some light to, and also to that circulation. So it's doing a little double duty.
Okay. Well, it sounds like Angus is suggesting maybe go down to a single light high, which I think would probably look pretty good to get it. I mean, the biggest accomplishment there is to get the roof edge off of the ridge, which is a good thing.
Yep.
So I think we'll probably go with that recommendation. Anybody else have anything to add to this? Looks like we're good.
Excellent.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Chip.
everyone. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.
Chip. All right. Brooke, you can probably unshare.
All right.
All right. Mary's here. Mary, did you have anything to say?
No, actually was, interested in how the scheduling of this impacted our meeting right after this. So I wanted to see where you were in the agenda. I can't
That's
tell.
true. Yeah, we have a little bit of time left.
Okay.
But, yeah. So Okay. I guess there's really nothing else on this schedule. Anybody else have anything to add? I think we're done with the agenda. So Brooke,
Yes, I would be happy to just write in the notes that I took, and send them to you for,
yeah, why don't you send me your notes? I've already, as usual, compiled
yes,
them ahead of time, so I'll add your comments to mine.
thank you.
That'll make it easy. And then I'll get them right out. All right, I think we're good to go. Motion to approve comments for agenda items.
So moved.
Lucy? Brooke?
I
Seconded?
seconded.
All those in favor, Lucy, Brooke, Jason,
Aye.
Angus,
Aye.
Hi.
I'm an aye. And how about a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Lucy? Brooke,
Second.
seconded. All those in favor, Lucy, Brooke, Angus, and Jason?
Aye.
And I'm an aye.
So I don't
All
know.
right.
Kadeem is going to be taking Kathy's job.
Sounds like it. And
Yeah.
maybe Esmeralda's moving in? Is she getting more involved now?
I don't know.
She was copied on the email one of the emails.
I saw that. So she might be filling in for Kadeem as he moves up. So that'll be nice. All right, I think we're good to go. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Brooke, for helping me out.
Yep.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you. Thanks, you guys.